the introduction, and I'm gonna tell you I'll be in time, even if it's a lot of material. I think I can cover that. So hello, also from my side after the coffee break. It's a great pleasure for me having the opportunity today to give you this very short snapshot of activities from BRP. At the beginning, I will briefly introduce our company to you, BRP, and then in the presentation itself, I would like to show you what we did in the last years in order to find an answer to the question, how do we best integrate the supply chain partners around the world, of course including the Asia-Pacific region, into kind of a holistic business process, what we call the enterprise costing today, which covers the entire product life cycle, including the product development and the manufacturing phase of our products. And we will do this in order to achieve, aside our targets in innovation and quality, also our cost targets, which is obviously an essential part of our global competition today. Who is BRP? The company name BRP refers to Bombardier Recreational Products. We are a company being engaged with developing and manufacturing motorized recreational vehicles. This business segment of recreational products has been sold by Bombardier in the year 2003. Since that point in time, we are a private company, no longer being linked with Bombardier anymore. BRP today employs about 6,500 people worldwide, and the head office is located very close to Montreal in Canada. The main manufacturing sites of the organization today, you find them in Canada, in the United States of America, Mexico, Austria, Finland, and we run an additional supply chain organization being located here in Hong Kong. The majority of our sales today is done, as you can see on the slide, in North and South America, in Europe, Australia, and in Japan. If we have a brief look on the product portfolio of BRP, you can see that we cover a very wide range of such different motorized products. For instance, the snowmobiles for the winter usage, the personal watercrafts for the on-water application, the ATVs, quads and side-by-side vehicles for the off-road riding, and also street-legal on-road vehicles such as our Can-Am Spyder Roadster. Within the powertrain division of BRP, we even develop and manufacture engines and powertrains for external customers, such as racing engines for cars, engines for our motorcycle customers, and even aircraft engines for the light sport aircraft application. So let's have a look now behind this statement. What do we mean with that statement? Why do we think that this kind of reactive cost optimization programs on existing products is not a long-term approach for us? Till about 10 years ago, our cost reduction programs were mainly this typical price down at supplier approach, very much focused on labor cost and a typical procurement activity of tactical price negotiation. This was the point in time when procurement was sent out there to find some lower labor cost opportunities, and we started to purchase components there. Around in the year 2001, we took the mandate to optimize the material cost of our products in a more structured manner, because we felt at this point in time that this kind of price buying just for low labor cost is not sustainable at the end. So we started to focus our work on cost instead of price. We introduced cost analysis methods and processes such as the purchasing price analysis, the value analysis and redesign, and the cost and process validation at supplier. At the same time, we had also to work on establishing this trust and openness with our supply chain partners for this new way of looking into the cost structures with them. All of these activities finally, after a while, proved to be quite successful, and we could deliver significant cost savings. Why do we finally think that despite this initial success, this is not a sustainable way and a future strategy for us? After several years of intensive reactive cost optimization activities, we found ourselves in this kind of dead-end situation. The efforts to capture further potentials on cost reduction raised massively, whereas on the other hand, the savings became less and less. So what did we conclude out of this? The conclusion at that point in time was that working reactively on cost optimization programs of existing products can only deliver a limited value proposition for an organization. We still had at that point in time very little focus on the cost during the product development phase, but which is obviously the most important phase when you establish the cost of any new product. And also finally, there was no real link of all these activities with our global sourcing strategy back in time. So we raised the question. The question was, can we implement a holistic business process? capturing the entire product life cycle and involving the whole value chain as a sustainable strategy. Finally, we decided to implement such a business process in order to develop even better cost calculation methods, cost know-how, cost transparency, and cost management. To heavily focus on cost during the product development phase, to better align our strategies in the organization, mainly being the technology, the manufacturing, and the sourcing strategy, and to early and efficiently involve our supply chain partners around the world in such a business process. Let's have a look now on this model. How does this enterprise costing model look like in our organization? So we defined those elements as being the most important ones for us. In the center you can see the enterprise costing. It's all about the work on cost of our products. And then we defined the maximum value proposition. What does that mean? We have a target that we achieve our goals in innovation, quality, and cost right at the beginning of the manufacturing of any new product, to avoid later on reactive activities to get cost reduction programs done. New form of organization. We're starting this process. We wanted to implement a new organizational structure and even create kind of a new corporate culture by putting cross-functional teams in place who are fully responsible to live these proactive processes in the organization. Make it an integrated part of global sourcing strategy and supplier management. We want to work with strategically selected long-term partners who fully support this sustainable approach of proactive cost optimization. In order to enable them to do so, we are going to integrate them in our product development process right at the kickoff, and they are an integrated part of each and every cross-functional BRP team. Extend the leadership in innovation. Here we want to even free up more resources for innovation in future. Resources which we kind of wasted in the past a little bit in our reactive programs where we worked on already existing products. And then finally, the goal of increased customer value and satisfaction should be the outcome. If we make it that we really achieve our goals in innovation, quality, and cost right in time, we would deliver also to this goal of increased customer value and satisfaction. I would like to walk you step by step through this model right now, and would like to start with the costing work itself. The costing work itself is based in our organization on standardization and on cross-functional usage throughout the entire product life cycle. If you walk with me through this illustration top down, you can see on the top that the new product development for a new engine platform takes us about 3 to 5 years. After the start of production, we are entering in a 7 to 10 years serial production period, and after that in the spare parts and after sales period. The product development stage is mainly divided into 3 major stages. In the first one, we define the concept of a new engine platform. Then we go into the development realization, and finally into the industrialization phase towards the serial production. Along this product development process, you see the most important topics in our organization which we carry out today, being the value engineering and the target costing, the value analysis and the calculation supporting the product development as we go on, and the design to quality and cost and the costing workshops with our supply chain partners. And you also see that in the phase of production there are still some little activities ongoing, means that the reactive activities are not getting to zero. There always remain some little activities in serial production, but we want to keep them rather minor compared to the proactive work during the product development phase. The cost itself, when we start working on the cost at the kickoff, we start with kind of a rough estimation, getting into more and more precise. And then we start with the first budget cost calculation of each and every component and the product itself. Turning it into a validated calculation means a calculation which is already validated with our supply chain partners. And finally ending up with a production cost calculation for the components and the whole product. We run all of this on a software which is called Perfect ProCalc Enterprise Costing, and having an interface to our SAP system in the organization. Maximum value proposition. What I would like to show you here is a real-life example. So something about the results. What did we achieve with that approach? And it's the example about this engine. It's an engine which we launched recently to serial production. What did we achieve there? Getting into the cost first. With this development, we could meet definitely the target cost at the start of production with this engine. Second topic, if we look deeper into the quality aspect, being already linked with the customer satisfaction, we measure here the launch quality with a few KPIs. Just two of them are on the slide here. The first one is that in this project we could reduce the number of engineering changes which we had to carry out from the validation engine till start of production plus 1 year by 2/3 in that project. We also measure the so-called CVI, the Customer Visit Index. It's kind of an index how often a customer has to show up to a dealership in the first 2 years with that product in order to get something fixed or there's a little disturbance or issue with that product. With that new engine in the first 2 years, there was no issue at all at the customer base. So basically, we think overall very good results on that by intensive early supply involvement and by rigorously applying the design to quality and cost processes. And finally, don't forget innovation. We also achieved with that engine that we set a new benchmark in the industry when it comes to fuel consumption and emissions. New forms of organization. What did we do there? Today you can segment all our engines and powertrains into 49 individual commodities. For each of these 49 commodities, we put a cross-functional team in place, the so-called commodity development group. A commodity development group in its core always exists of a buyer, an R&D engineer, a supplier quality engineer, a production expert, and a respective partner from the supply chain. With that cross-functional teams who are running these proactive processes, we could foster much more the cooperation and much better bundle the resources and the intelligence along these proactive processes. Integrated part of global sourcing strategy and supplier management. What we do is that we align in our organization the product and technology strategy, the manufacturing strategy, and the global sourcing strategy. Based on these aligned strategies, the commodity development groups can work out all the individual 49 commodity strategies. If they work out these commodity strategies, they also make sure that we have the right level of interaction and engagement with our supply chain partners. And here we have a very good and specific definition of the level of expectation towards each and every level of partnership here in the supply chain. As we go forward, this continuously rolled forward commodity strategies are applied in time into every new product development process as we go and as we start developing engines along that. And finally, our supplier management program is supporting all of these initiatives. It's consisting of supplier classification, supplier rating, supplier development, and supplier relationship management. I started a little later than 11. Extended leadership in innovation, but I'll finish soon. Extended leadership in innovation. What we do here is that you have to understand that innovation was always a key topic for BRP since the beginning. And actually BRP with the level of innovation could even create and define this industry. And this process this process of enterprise costing today is heavily supporting our level of innovation and will help us to come out with new products and new innovations as we go there. And finally, increase customer value and customer satisfaction. Not working anymore? Yep. So this is a little overview just about the recent awards and recognitions which we received in 2 of our product lines and product categories. And we can see by those recognitions and awards that we are truly delivering what we are promising to our customers when it comes to customer value and satisfaction. And finally, I would like to conclude with this photo of our best performing supply chain partners around the world with a very good number of partners from Asia in that group. And they are one big strong team today with BRP helping us fundamentally to achieve those targets when we talk about customer value and satisfaction. I thank you very much for your attention.
Michael, very short, very sweet. You were pretty much on target on the timing. Just a very quick question. You, with BRP, you've gone across the world. You're in Mexico, you're in India, you're in China. Are you one of the headlines, one of our taglines is looking beyond China. But how important is China to the BRP powertrain business? And is it going to continue to have a role in the future?
Oh, definitely. We have to see it in a way that we don't manufacture our engines and products today in China. So it's a sourcing market for us.
Right.
And for all of these sourcing markets, we want to focus. We cannot and we don't want to source around the globe in every country one or two components. We want to be focused. And this means whenever we are looking into sourcing China, Taiwan, Vietnam, those are the main countries which we are focused on when we talk about Asia Pacific. And they have a significant role for us, definitely, also in the future.
Also in the future. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Mayringer. Thank you.